All right, PMC fans, welcome back to my week 4 match. Guys, this was an incredible match up against an incredible opponent tonight. We're going against actually the Jersey Dwebles. It's really funny because Misty went against these guys last week, and one thing I'm going to give you, spoiler alert, it looks like my opponents will be similar to that. If you look at the PMC website, you can see that. But this was anything but it was a brawl. It was a brawl. It really was. And I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. So before we go in here, remember, guys, don't just follow your favorite coach here of the Shinryu Pikachu's, me, Johan, little introduction there, but follow all the coaches. All of them, all the coaches, all the analysts, they all got great content. They all got great battles for you to watch and great, other things to look at. So be sure to do that. Now let's go ahead and go into my team a little bit. One thing, I don't like giving away my strategies a little bit, but I've decided to bring my Skunk Tank, Azumarill, Goodra the God, my Charizard X, Denofin, and Jolt, the Jolteon had to come. That's one of my favorite Mons. He brought Mega Bayonet, Fortress, Haxorus, Vileplume, Ninetales, and Gardevoir. Now, it looks like, it's going to be an interesting match, and I'm sure you guys didn't come here to just hear me banter. You guys came to see this match and see who won. So we're going to go into it right now. Here we go. Ooh, that bell made it epic. So to begin things off, I let off with Skunk Tank, thinking he was going to lead off with Mega Bayonet, kind of like what he did with Misty. Didn't happen. He let off with Frank Castle, aka the Gardevoir. Now, I figured he would go ahead and do something. My gut instinct said to use Pursuit, but I didn't. So I'd use something else, and it did not do anything toxic because he's a Steel type. So he withdrew. At this point, I decided I'm going to go ahead and try something different, figuring he would probably go into Mega Bayonet, which he still didn't do. He went into Ninetales, so I decided to go for the taunt. Just in case he had Will-O-Wisp or something along those lines, I figured it would stop something with him. So I decided to call Skunk Tank back, knowing that I need him for later, and go into Denofin to go ahead and get some hazards up on the field. He decided to use Fire Blast. It missed, which I was so enthusiastic about. So rather than trying to take an EQ or anything, he calls him back, gets out, brings out Vileplume. At this point, I'm able to get my rocks off clean. So now I got rocks on the field. They're floating there. The sun's out. Vileplume's probably going to use Solar Beam or something like that. I told myself, let's get into Goodra the God. So we get Goodra out. He goes into Solar Beam. Now, at this moment in my mind, I was like, yo, I actually have a Sap Sipper Goodra that I got for the league, and I didn't bring it because I had technical issues. So I brought, a Gooey Goodra instead, figuring it would be just as good. And it was. So he decides to go into the Moonblast, thinking it was going to do major damage. It didn't. It didn't. Not at all. So he lost some of his HP with the Life Orb. We go for the Ice Beam, get him out of there. So we're already up 6-5. We've got one of his Mons down. The only person really holding on with some damage is Goodra. Now I figured he would probably, with Haxorus, go into a Dragon Claw, and I didn't want to take that chance. Not at all. So I decided what I'm going to go ahead and do is switch out into my Fairy, the one, the only Azumarill. And I predicted right. He go for Declaw, did no damage to Azumarill. Now, rather than trying to take a play rough, he decides to pull back and goes back into his Fortress. At that time, I was like, oh my goodness, I really didn't want it. But I decided, you know what, let's get a substitute off. Because whatever he's going to do, it gives me an opening. So he gets his life back due to that, and I decided to go ahead and go for the knockoff. I'm like, we can't have you recovering life. We didn't do a lot of damage, which I saw on the damage count. It wasn't what I didn't predict, that this Solar Beam would be so strong enough to be able to break my substitute. I mean, luckily it was a substitute and not Azumarill, because that would have been devastating to lose him at this point in the game, because I really felt he was key. So I decided to call him back and say, let's just go ahead and prep a different way. And we go in a Zard. Now, this is where the fight got tricky. He sets up his rocks, giving me basically the free switch in, which I wasn't really denying or denying. So he decides to call back and goes into Scarlet Witch, Ninetales again. Me, I was pleased as punch at this point. Not only has he taken damage from stealth rocks already. He's gotten the sun out, and I got my fire type. I got Zard out. Zard is about to go ahead and wreck shop, and I just figured he would do the switch, so I did the one move that I knew would guarantee me a KO. EQ. So we do the earthquake. That's it for Scarlet Witch. She's out of there. So we're up 6-4 at this point. 6-4. I am so happy. He goes back into Gardevoir. I look at the damage calc and I say, you know what? A Flare Blitz is gonna kill him. With him taking this Stone Edge, or not Stone Edge, the Stealth Rocks. Yeah, we're gonna do it. He uses Destiny Bond, which is, this thing has gotten me so many times. I can't stress to you enough. He does it, and we kill. We get the kill, clean kill off. And my perfectly full health Zard X goes down to Destiny Bond. So now we've lost our first Mon. Zard X is gone. I decided, let's go into Donphan and try to clean up this field. He says not today, and finally brings out the Bayonet. Now I know he's gonna Mega Evolve at this point, and I'm like, you know what? I can't do anything to him. I can't go ahead and spin. So I decided to go into Skuntank, knowing he's going to try to go ahead and do a Will-O-Wisp because he's going to get the Prankster ability. So here goes the Mega Evolution. Easy. He does the Will-O-Wisp just like I predicted. So now we got a burnt Skuntank. Our Black Sludge kicks in, gets us up a little bit, and we lose a little bit, not too much, but enough to the burn. So we finally decide to go ahead and get the taunt off, just in case he's trying to do anything else. He goes for the Gunk Shot. Now at this point I was like, why would he use Gunk Shot on my poison type? It's not going to do a severe amount of damage, not anything that we're not going to be able to recover, but nonetheless, still was there. The burn starting to get a little bit more, took a clean 26 off us. I knew he was going to switch out, so I decided to now use Pursuit. That's almost half his life right there within that setting. Now he goes into his Fortress again. Now he's already lost half life by this point, just switching it in, switching him out. The burn's coming back in, taking more damage. At this point I say, I'm going to save Skuntank for later because he's going to be useful. And I go into Donphan to try to go ahead and clean up my field. We take a little bit of Stealth Rock. Now he's cleaning his field up. He uses Rapid Spin, does next to nothing, but he cleans the stones off his side of the field. He switches out. Now we get Mega Bayonet out. Now I figured what he was going to do is he was going to burn us again. So during the switch I decided to go for a Rocks to get it back up because I knew he wouldn't see that coming. And I decided to switch into somebody who's already has a Hacks on him, Skuntank, figuring that he's going to go for the Will-O-Wisp. And you know what happens? He goes for the Will-O-Wisp. Skuntank's already burned. It does nothing. The sunlight's gone. So the Hydra's gone. Ninetales is gone, so there can't be any more suns. We don't have to worry about any more one-turn solar beams or anything like that. So I do what I can do. Pursuit. Because I knew he wasn't going to try to stay on the field. And you know what? Kills him. Kills him clean. Now my opponent has 3 Mons left. Just 3. We're already up. We got 5 to his 3. We're still winning. And I'm like, man, this is good. We're getting there. We're doing it. We are doing it. Now, Carnage comes out. He takes Stone Edge damage, which I figured there's no point in me even having to worry about switching out at this point. We've already done enough damage. And he decides to D-dance. So he goes up 1-1. No big deal. Now, normally I would be sweating bricks. Not this time. I decided to go for the Toxic, and let's get him poisoned up. Because he has nobody to remove his hazards, really. And he's not going to bother to switch in, because whoever he switches into is going to eat an attack. So the poison's starting to take effect. I decided we're going to let this poison run its course. Rather than switching out, we go for the Protect. So that he can get another turn to let that poison situate in his Mon. He goes for the EQ. Protect protects us. We get Black Sludge to restore us a little bit. The poison runs its course a little more, getting him almost at half life. We get damaged by our burn. We got 9 HP left. There's not much we can do. I decided to go for Protect again. It failed. He gets the EQ off, knocks us down. We have officially lost Zard X. So we have officially lost Skuntank. So at this point, I'm like, you know what? He's got the life orb. The poison's hurting him. There's not much he can do at this point besides just take these L's. I decided to go into Denothan. Denothan gets hit by the stone edge, or not stone edge, the stealth rocks. I go for the ice shard thinking it would kill. I was off. He lived by like 1 or 2 HP. He goes for the D-Claw. Now this is going to hurt a little bit. I decide, you know what, we're going to go ahead and get him out of here. But rather, before I could even get an opportunity to hit him again, he dies due to the poison damage. So my opponent's down to his last Mon, Modok, Fortress. Fortress is building up his attack power. I'm like, you know what, let's go for it. EQ, baby. We go for the Earthquake. It takes a good chunk of damage, but not enough to kill. The Solar Beam gets off, and down goes Denothan. Our Denothan's gone, guys. He is down. I call him back. There's not much else I can do but bring out the one, the only JoJo. JoJo touches down on the field. The Stealth Rock hits. We float, and he can't hit us with an EQ. We're still safe. We go for the T-Bolt because there's not much on his team that could take a T-Bolt. Modok goes down, and there goes the fight. Now, I wish I could take credit for this. I've had a lot of people helping me, so this isn't just my victory. This is your victory, guys. I want to give a big shout out to my man Jay Specs, to everybody in the PMC for really pushing me along, helping me, and helping me get to the point where I'm confident as a battler and able to really show prowess and be able to compete. This division is really, really tough that I'm in, and I was talking with other PMCers, J-Specs, and they were telling me this is a real rough division to be in, but we holding our own, and we're going to keep trying to do that, and that's what it's about. Growth, evolution, that's what Pokemon's about. But I've rambled on enough, guys. I hope you enjoyed this fight. I hope you are subscribing to the Jersey Dwebles. Cloud, my mans, thank you for this battle. I told him we got to do it again. This really was a good fight. Guys, again, if you liking what we're doing and you loving how we're doing it, hit that like button for more content. Alright, guys, I'll catch up with you. Peace.